21 News exclusive. We have learned that Jerry Sandusky tried to stay in coaching even after he was being investigated for child sex abuse. He failed a background check just last year at Juniata College. CBS 21 News sports director Jason Bristol back from Huntington County tonight. And Jason, do we know what raised the red flag here?
Well, Rob, it's very simple. Jerry Sandusky had to fill out a form like this one, authorizing a background check. And Juniata College soon found out that Jerry Sandusky wasn't being upfront. He did not tell the school he was under investigation for abusing a child. It's a CBS 21 News exclusive. Before Jerry Sandusky was hauled away in handcuffs, he was hoping to spend more time here at Knox Stadium on the campus of Juniata College, halfway between Harrisburg and Pittsburgh. In May of 2010, he planned on becoming a volunteer coach for the Eagles, the same position he had held at Central Mountain High School in Clinton County before being exiled. The high school investigated claims he had sexually assaulted a student there, a student now known as Victim 1 in the state's grand jury report. You failed to include this information on the background verification form that you filled out at the time of your interview, wrote Juniata College in a rejection letter to Jerry Sandusky. But for some reason, Sandusky kept coming around to assist the team and its former head coach, Carmen Felix, even though the college says it told Felix in June of 2010 that Sandusky could not be associated with the program. And what's interesting here at Juniata College, the football offices are located right there. That is South Hall, where the coaches do most of their work. And right next door, directly next door, is Maud Lesher Hall. Inside that building, an early childhood education center where they hold preschool classes in the morning and in the afternoon. Finally, after a game in September of 2010 at Franklin and Marshall, where Sandusky was seen helping the Juniata College coaches, Juniata says it told Sandusky personally enough was enough. He was not to be around the football program any longer. The school has no record of him being on campus since. Juniata College allowed CBS 21 News access to its campus, but declined our request for an on-camera interview. A spokesman said in an email, "We feel the information we've supplied accurately describes how Juniata College handled the situation, and we feel comfortable standing on our record." And this student agrees, seeing Sandusky led away by police, and now knowing he could have helped lead a football team at Juniata College has been talked about a lot around here.
One of my professors told me a couple weeks ago that he knew that he came here and applied for a job, and the school had done its due diligence and done the background check. I was pretty proud of us to know that we did the right thing.
Okay, so why Juniata College? Well, Jerry Sandusky once coached there in 1967 at the very beginning of his career. And reportedly, he and Carmen Felix, Juniata's former head coach, were friends. Felix is now coaching at a school in Tennessee. We tried to contact him repeatedly. We also haven't heard back from Jerry Sandusky's lawyer either. We wanted to ask him why his client wasn't upfront during the interview process at Juniata College. Rob?
You've been doing a lot of digging. The letter says failed to include the information. Do you have any idea how that could have happened?
I don't. I downloaded actually the verification background form from the Juniata College website. There is no question here.
Not a direct
question saying, are you being investigated for anything? However, under the history section, it does mention reason for leaving. So it's quite possible that Jerry Sandusky did not answer that or left it blank. It's quite possible, but at this point, there is no way of knowing what he did put on this form or what he didn't put on it.
This is hard to believe, but we have learned that despite failing a background check at Juniata College, Jerry Sandusky still coached there for an entire season, all while being under investigation for child sex abuse. CBS 21 sports director Jason Bristol back from Huntington County tonight with the latest. Jason, how is this possible?
Well, Tanya, the school says there was a breakdown in communication, but we talked to some players who have a hard time buying that. They say Jerry Sandusky didn't just show up for a few practices or watch a single game from the press box. He coached in every single game last year, right under the noses of the Juniata administration.
And then I hear people they saying oh, I'm glad the school did the right thing, not having him around my son. He was around your son. He was around your son. He was around your son for a whole football season.
This Juniata College football player tells CBS 21 News that while Juniata College tried to stop Jerry Sandusky from coaching here, it didn't actually stop him. This player and another one agreed to speak to CBS 21 News only if we hid their identities. And their story has been confirmed independently by a third player who would not appear on camera. All paint a very similar picture. Even though Jerry Sandusky was denied a volunteer coaching position, he still immersed himself within the Eagles program, coming to practices, attending coaches' meetings, even calling defensive formations from the press box during games. And not one game or two, but every game. These two players can't believe the school did not know.
How do you not know he's here? And like he's in the press box. It's not like the press box is some like closed off area where no one can see. Like if you just turn your head and look up, you see all the coaches in the press box.
While games and practices are open to the public, Jerry Sandusky should not have been in that press box. Juniata wouldn't offer him a position because it learned he was under investigation at Central Mountain High School in Clinton County. You failed to include this information on the background verification form that you filled out at the time of your interview, wrote Juniata College in a rejection letter in June of 2010. That investigation at Central Mountain is now detailed in the state's grand jury report. Juniata College says it did everything right by not allowing Jerry Sandusky to coach here. But now it admits its former head coach, Carmen Felix, did not follow orders. The coach at that time was Carmen Felix, now an offensive coordinator at UT Martin in Tennessee. It was his job to tell Jerry Sandusky he was not to associate with the program. A Juniata College spokesperson tells CBS 21 News today that despite 3 distinct orders from the college's senior leadership, the coach did not follow directives. The communication breakdown falls on the head coach. But these players believe there's enough blame to go around, that their former head coach put the prospect of winning football games ahead of their own personal safety. And Juniata College should have done more to make sure that scenario would never happen.
And to keep him here for as long as he did, even though we didn't win any games, like, you definitely put the player's safety in jeopardy. Yeah, but I think it's their job as Juniata administration to come down and make sure that he wasn't there.
Juniata College says it only learned of Sandusky's real involvement in the program the following semester in the spring of 2011. As for Carmen Felix, the former head coach, we have repeatedly tried to contact him to get his side of the story, but we have not heard back. Tanya?
It's a startling report here. Have you tried to talk to the athletic director about this?
This is actually the former athletic director. He is now a volleyball coach at Navy. I did speak with him today. He says he did not personally talk to Jerry Sandusky himself. He told Carmen Felix to tell Jerry Sandusky not to be around the program. When I asked the AD, the former AD, if it would surprise him to hear that Jerry Sandusky was around the entire season, he said it would not surprise him.
It would not surprise him. More shocking details about Jerry Sandusky's activities during the last year. The accused child molester was just yards away from young, innocent children while helping the football team at Juniata College.
CBS 21 News sports director Jason Bristol broke the story. He's got this additional exclusive in the studio now. Jason, how'd this happen?
You know, Rob, some football players at Juniata College are asking that very same question. They are speaking out now because they can't believe their school let Jerry Sandusky to continue to interact with their team and be so close to young kids, even after a failed background check. It's another CBS 21 News exclusive. Coming off a 1-9 season, these two Juniata College football players were pleasantly surprised last year to find out that a legendary defensive coach named Jerry Sandusky was willing to help their team win more games.
In my mind, I thought it was completely fine. I thought Juniata knew that he was here. Yeah, he had to. That's what I thought. Yeah, they had to know that he's here. He's here every game in the football office, working on packages, working on going to the coaches' meetings. And then the coaches were listening to him.
Obviously, CBS 21 News has hidden these players' identities and changed their voices. But they later noticed something they considered odd, that before each football practice, while waiting for the players to take the field, Jerry Sandusky would park his car as close to Juniata College's early childhood education center as possible.
He would sit out in front of the Child Development Center, and we would just wonder, like, why is he sitting right there? I don't know what he was doing in the car, but he had his spot right outside the ECEC, and who knows what he was doing in that car.
Another separate Juniata player confirmed their story. And CBS 21 News recently showed how close the football offices are to that children's center, which is used by kids from around the area. And right next door, directly next door, is Maud Lesher Hall. Inside that building, an early childhood education center. Juniata College tells CBS 21 News it has no record of any complaints involving Jerry Sandusky while he was on campus. It's also admitted Jerry Sandusky shouldn't have been working with the team to begin with. Head coach Carmen Felix was told 3 times by senior administrators to get rid of him, as he was under investigation at Central Mountain High School for an incident now included in the state's grand jury report. Juniata College says its public safety office reached out to state investigators about Jerry Sandusky being here back on November 9th, but state police decided not to follow up on that. Yet the players also remember the first time they saw Jerry Sandusky, and he was holding the hand of a young boy.
I think, oh, that might be his grandson or, second mouth. Yeah, his nephew. Or, I'm not sure, like, what he got, but I think about it was very strange for me because he wasn't on the practice field his first day he showed up.
They don't recall seeing that child again, and they're troubled by that. But they'll never forget the 2010 season with Jerry Sandusky, knowing now he shouldn't have been working with the team.
It really hit home for us when it all hit the fan. It was like we were around a real child abuser. I can't believe that I was standing as close as I'm standing next to my friend right here. I was standing next to Jerry Sandusky.
Obviously, Jerry Sandusky is an accused abuser at this point. He has maintained his innocence. As for the boy the players saw Sandusky with, they don't think he was from that children's center. And the college blames some botched communication between a coach and the administration for Sandusky sticking around. Well, a school spokesman told the Associated Press today it has taken steps to prevent that in the future.
For us tonight. Jason, have you been able to get in touch with him?
Tanya, we haven't, even though we've tried to reach that former coach. But we did speak to his current boss today, the head of athletics at UT Martin. It's a school in Tennessee, and it's a CBS 21 News exclusive. Now, the coach in question is Carmen Felix, who spent 2 years running the program at Juniata College. Juniata says he is the one that wanted Jerry Sandusky to help coach the football team. But Sandusky was later denied an official position because he failed a background check. Still, Jerry Sandusky kept coaching at Juniata even though Carmen Felix was told 3 times to get rid of him. That's according to Juniata College. Now, I called the athletics director at UT Martin today. His name is Phil Dane. He would not comment on Carmen Felix's time at Juniata or our reporting. But he did say this: we have looked into the matter as deeply as we feel necessary, and he, meaning Carmen Felix, has done nothing to affect his employment status here at UT Martin. Now, Felix is working as a co-offensive coordinator at that school, UT Martin. He had a record of 1-19 during his time at Juniata. Tanya?
Meantime, new developments. The governing body of college sports is now weighing in on our exclusive story that Jerry Sandusky was helping out at Juniata College even though he was denied an official job there.
CBS 21 sports director Jason Bristol live in the studio tonight. So, Jason, what's the NCAA have to say about all this?
Well, I can say this. The NCAA knows about our stories involving Juniata College, that even though Jerry Sandusky failed a background check because he didn't tell the college he was under investigation for child sex abuse, he continued to help coach the football team there. Stacey Osborne, a spokesperson there, told me through an email, the NCAA is aware of the media reports and will continue to follow the situation to determine if any actions are necessary as it relates to NCAA rules. 2 players we interviewed on camera told us that Jerry Sandusky was actively involved in the football program. He attended meetings and practices, even called plays from the press box during every game. And the school is blaming that man, its former head coach Carmen Felix, for all this. Juniata says it told Felix 3 times to get rid of Jerry Sandusky, and he never did. Juniata College told the Associated Press on Tuesday it has reviewed its communication issues between administrators and head coaches and has taken the appropriate steps to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again.